Mike Williams, currently with the Mike Williams Band. Also playing in the Perennials. Um, I'm going to be appearing at Martin Verall's record release party in a couple of weeks. Don't ask me the date, I can't remember. I'm doing some shows with Paul Anthony too, coming in about September. Mostly right now I'm recording and writing. I'm pretty much focused on the Mike Williams Band.
Where do you play? Where do you play basically?
I'm a bass player, singer-songwriter.
Born and bred in Hamilton?
Hamilton.
Yeah.
My musical influences were the Beatles. I first saw them on Ed Sullivan's show. I was with my aunties. They had a little record player. Looked like a Beatles cartoon record player. It come with Beatles 45s in it. I remember eating popcorn and drinking pop, and Ed Sullivan come on and and popcorn went flying, pop went flying. It made an impression on me. I thought that's a good job. I think I'd like to do that. My other influence would be Muhammad Ali.
Okay.
My dad was a boxer in the army, so my influence, yeah, it's pretty obvious. What got me into punk and underground music? Well, as a teenager, I was into Mark Bolan and Slade and British glam rock. And to me, it was a natural extension to the Sex Pistols, and the British stuff is what I was interested in, frankly. Still am.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Probably something to do with the Beatles. So that was what I was into, and I was in the habit of going to the $1.99 Delta. One night I bumped into Teenage Head. I was just going there because whatever. They played shows like 2001 Space Odyssey, Rocky Horror Picture Show, and lots of weird, twisted things.
Yeah.
Right? So I went there every weekend and I saw whatever they were playing. And one weekend Teenage Head was there.
Nice.
And they blew my mind. And another weekend DOA was there. And another weekend the Forgotten Rebels were there. My whole life just took a left turn. And that summer I saw the Ramones in Burlington.
Yeah. Everyone was there.
Forgotten Rebels were there.
Yeah.
You were there?
No, I wasn't, but everybody in the was there.
It was a riot.
Yeah.
It was a riot, right? It made a big impression on me.
Yeah.
Watching the Ramones, it occurred to me, I get it. I can do that. I get that.
Yeah.
Apparently, a lot of people felt the same way. That they were the Johnny Appleseeds of the punk movement.
Mm-hmm.
That wherever they played, little bands would sprout up the next week. My mushrooms around a pond. So my first concert and my first punk show were the same show. It was Ramones at Burlington Civic Arena. I think it was close to the time where those kids were killed at a Who concert.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Remember this? There was a general admission, the doors went open, and people got trampled. So, at this Ramones show, there's a similar situation in that they wouldn't open the doors till 10, 15 minutes before showtime. We could hear them on stage.
Oh, wow.
We're all of us, we're standing out front for, I don't know, hour, 2 hours, and we're drinking our beers and we're taking our drugs and getting pretty wound up, right? So, come showtime, or 10 minutes before the show, they open the doors, and they were literally ripped off the hinges, and I was swept along like it felt like being in white water. I remember grabbing a door hinge and deciding I can't hold on. And I got swept in,
The crowd.
and then into the arena. It was a hockey arena, and it was just suddenly, oof, you're in,
Yeah, yeah.
right? So I got behind the glass, and but there was folding chairs all in the front, 50 of them, and the punks grabbed all the chairs and fired them all up into the air, made a big pile.
Yeah.
Mayhem, absolute mayhem. I don't know how old I was, 19, 18. I'd never seen anything like that in my life. Right?
Yeah.
The Rebels were awesome. Mickey was great.
Yeah.
Dee Dee Ramone blew my mind. Again, I was watching him and I thought, I get it. I totally get what he's doing.
Nice.
That was my first show. My favorite shows were in the 80s. It occurred to me that a lot of these guys from the 50s weren't going to be around forever. They're getting older. So over the course of about 10 years, I saw as many of them as I could. I saw Jerry Lee Lewis. I saw the Everly Brothers, Dion, Bo Diddley. I would have loved to have seen Little Richard. I saw George Jones. I was as close to George Jones as I am to you.
Oh,
wow. When he walked, I was standing at the front of the stage at Lulu's, and when he walked out, all the blue hairs rushed the stage. You would have thought Moses was there. The reaction that he got, they were pushing and shoving. I had a great spot, and I got pushed back.
He's on stage?
Yeah. It was a treat watching him sing. Of all of them, I think Roy Orbison was my favorite. It seemed to me there was something magic about him.
Okay.
The effortlessness of what he was a better singer live than he is on the records, which is pretty incredible. And the Everly Brothers. When the Everly Brothers would finish a song, "Let it be me," instead of clapping, you could hear the women in the audience going, and, right?
Nice.
So those are my favorite shows.
That's
I
awesome.
wish I'd seen Elvis.
Yeah.
I wish I'd seen Little Richard. Past that, or Chuck Berry maybe. But past that, I did see a lot of them. Craziest show I ever did. Well, there's lots of them, but the craziest ones I ever did were biker shows back in the 80s. Generally speaking, biker funerals. One in particular, the motorcycle club had patches that said, "Live to ride, live to fly." They were drinking and driving, and they were drinking and flying. What do you call those things? Ultralights. It's essentially a kite with a lawnmower motor on it. These guys, while we were playing, were buzzing the field in front of the stage, so close that they're coming up with grass in their wheels. And this one guy was going straight up. I think his plane stalled, and he just started falling back, and he's pulling on his motor.
Yeah.
And before he hit the ground, it kicked in, and zoom, he goes straight back up, and you could hear him laughing his head off.
Jesus.
He buzzed the stage a few times. I recall, okay, I think it was the same show. I could be smushing shows together. It was the same show. There was a cornfield, and these guys were driving into the cornfield, blind. 2 or 3 guys were in the cornfield, right? And you see them come out every once in a burst out. I recall one guy standing on the forks, right, going through this cornfield. If you hit anything, you're not even gonna see what you hit, right? So there was a series of these biker shows we did. I recall another one. The curtain went up. Dave Rave was with me. The curtain went up. Here they are, the Trouble Boys. uh, as the stage collapsed, and I fell into the stage. I fell into a hole. I had my bass, one leg sticking out, and it was the bass. And Dave pulled me out of the hole. Everybody laughing their heads off. And I was scratched from my ass to my back of my legs, up my back. I wasn't happy with anybody. Fuck you guys. That's pretty crazy. A good time was had by all, anyway. That's crazy shows. Past bands, past and current bands. Let's do the past bands. I started out playing in bands playing up and down Barton Street, playing 50s and country stuff. Green Grass from Home and Great Balls of Fire. I played in several of them, and then one day I met Tim Gibbons in a parking lot, and got hired for the Trouble Boys. So I would say the Trouble Boys were my first band.
Yeah.
So at that time,
Do you know what year it was? Sorry, do you know what year it was?
I'm going to say 83.
Okay.
It could have been 84, something like that. I was about 24, 25. At that time, I was playing in the Florida Razors as well. I did that for about a year. After that was Ray Meterick. Again, probably a year. My mind's a bit of a blank. Hellbent Rockers.
That's
A couple of years. I did 20 years with Cadillac Bill. One of those 20 years we was spent touring. We did 6 tours in 1 year. 30 days on, 30 days off, 30 days on, 30 days off. I saw pretty much everything you can see of Canada from the Trans-Canada Highway. Current bands. Mike Williams' band, we're recording. Shooting videos. We're going to release something next year. It'll be an album release. I'm currently playing with the Perennials. There's a couple other projects I have my finger in, but I don't want to talk about right now. What I dislike the most is worrying about money, recording and videos and all that stuff.
Yeah.
What I like about it the most is I like being creative, and I enjoy the life. I don't think I've ever done anything but I was always a musician, and I would just say I enjoy being creative. I enjoy writing songs. I enjoy arranging music, and I'll tell you, I enjoy hanging out with the musicians. They're de facto family. My favorite food. I'll tell you what I don't like. I don't like lobster. I want to like it. It's the smell. I've tried a couple of times to eat it, and you put that thing in front of me, and I want to eat it, and I can't.
Yeah.
I don't like
I love it.
octopus, and I don't like squid. Calamari. Past that, I like Chinese. I love Italian. I'm not going to say I have a favorite. I like Black Forest Inn.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, James, sir.
Prime rib. Gravy, mashed potatoes. I like Middle Eastern. I can talk about it. You name a country, I have something positive to say about the food.
Yeah.
I have a useless talent. I overthink. I worry. There it is. And I'd like to say Steve for being a great host. I had a good time. And I enjoyed the conversation. A lot of the best conversation happened when the camera wasn't running, by the way. Thank you.
Exactly.